Hey guys, today I will show you 4 new features about PvP-PvE with vehicles. And yeah, let's start. This is my second account here right now. I need it for testing at some point. Yeah, so as you can see, we are outside PvP zone. This is a PvP zone. We do spawn now a vehicle like the hatchback. And these are our new settings. So you can see enable vehicle damage, PvP and PvE. Enable vehicle contact damage. This means if you drive against a wall or any object, you don't take damage if they are set to 0. And it's the same for these. So if you set this one to 1 and this one also PvP to 1, the vehicle will get damage in PvP zones, and also the player will get damage on collision with a wall or something. If you turn this off, the car with 0, the car won't take any damage, and the player also don't take damage by driving against walls or, I don't know, anything else, right? But it does take damage from players and grenades and stuff. Okay, so we go back to default, reload it, and then just a small note. If you use DayZ expansion vehicles, you have to make sure that, let's go into the vehicle settings. Was it here? Yes. So, well, you have to make sure that you set disable vehicle damage to 0. If you set it to 1, expansion will override my logic behind these settings. So if you set it to 1 in expansion, then expansion will override my settings. So yeah, I keep it at 0. So the vehicle damage is disabled, enabled in expansion vehicles. And here on my config, it is disabled. So if you go now in game and shoot the vehicle, let me check if I have unlimited ammo. Yes. Then you will see the car won't take damage and its attachment won't also take damage. See? You can see that down here on this one. Protection applied for cargo item, the wheel, the trunk, the doors, and so on. So what happens if we set it now in PvE to 1 and then we reload the config? Players can damage the car, as you can see. So yeah. Now it's destroyed, right? Okay. You can clearly see it's getting damage in PvE zone. And now if we go to PvP zone and we have the settings for PvP 0, it shouldn't take any damage. So let's spawn one more. There we go. See, it doesn't take any damage. Right. Yeah. Then if we switch this to PvP 1, take damage in PvP zones and reload the config, and you shoot it, it will take damage. Right? Yeah, that's how it is. You see these errors because the car is already destroyed, so this one doesn't get destroyed. Okay, let's remove. Now we can test this like so. We set everything to 0, save it, and then we reload the config. We go out of PvP zone. Then we remove this car. And we go a bit more here. Spawn a new car. And because we have everything to 0, of course we won't take damage if you drive against a sign or a wall, whatever. So let's turn on the car and drive. Now we're going to drive against the design here, right? No damage. And you can see contact damage prevented by config. So now, if we do change it to PvE 1, it can take damage in PvE and the player collision damage also PvE. We should see that the player takes damage and the car will take damage. So let's move again to here. Spawn another car. Go in, reload config because we changed the config. Turn on the car. And drive against the sign again. We see I will get damage now. I'm not sure if I will die. See. Okay, so this is how it looks like. We took damage and the car also took damage, as you can see. Yeah. Okay, so now we change this collision damage to 0. This basically means, if we reload the config, that the car can now get damage in PvE zones by players, but it won't take damage. The player won't take damage in collision, right? Because we have it to 0. So we can drive with the vehicle now. Oh. Let's try again. And oh. That's prevented the damage. Oh, that was wrong. Let's go out. Let's see. No damage. Okay. So yeah. This way you make sure that you don't get collision damage and the car won't get damaged by collision. Yeah. So if we spawn the car, this player can still damage the vehicle. Right? That's still possible at this stage because we have it here to 1. So here you can decide if the car should get damaged or not by players. And here we can decide the collision damage. If we change this to 0 and this to 1, you will see what happens next. Let's see. Let's spawn. And drive against the sign. Nothing will happen because it doesn't take damage in PvE. We have to set this to 1 to allow collision damage, right? Yeah, it's a pretty bit weird, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I did something wrong, but yeah, we will see how it goes in the future. I just quickly made this and yeah. All right, so what happens if we go now inside here in the PvP zone? We spawn helicopter. Ah, shit, I don't have vehicles installed, so this doesn't work now. Yeah, it won't work because I don't have expansion stuff installed. But yeah, whatever. Then you have to try it around. But if you, for example, in a PvP zone and someone is flying with the helicopter around here, you can shoot it down. If you did set it to 1 here in PvP, right? So it does make PvP more interesting if you do set it like so. So no damage in PvE, but in PvP you get collision damage and vehicle damage. Okay, you can even set it like so, then it only takes damage by players, for instance. Yeah. You will see that now if I reload the config. Place off-road hatchback again, and then we can place some grenades. Right. Like this. Then I set God mode on. God mode, and let's shoot. Yeah, come on. See, the car is destroyed. Right? Yeah. The car doesn't take damage by one grenade or one claymore. We tested this. It takes 5 claymores to 10, 5 to 10 claymores to destroy a car. Even in vanilla with grenades, they don't do that much damage. But yeah, that's how it is. As you can see, it does work for sure. Right? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's destroyed. So that's it. You can reload as you want it and play around with it. You don't even need to use this. Even if you set it here to 1, 1, 1, 1, and you have here in expansion disable vehicle damage set to 1, as said, expansion will take over and it uses the expansion methods to avoid this damage. So you can decide if you want to keep expansion on or if you want to use my method. And also you don't need to use item base inside here to protect the items of the vehicle. This is not the case anymore. You can still do this, but you don't need to. Right? It's all now set in the mod itself. So yeah. That's it. Hope you like it and see you next time.